it's Ray Morneau, driver of the number 30 Liuna APC late model for Casey Cash Racing, and you're watching ONTrack Weekly. Everybody, welcome in. It is ONTrack Weekly for the beginning of March 4th. It is Motorama week, so we're really excited to get out and get the show on the road. Finally, it's been a long off season, but Motorama is officially the kickoff for the start of the season. Hope you're all doing well. We're ready to do fresh episode. I want to thank Ray Morneau Jr. for the amazing intro, but we don't have a look to what his car is going to look like just yet. So that's where we're going to throw his 2023 car up on the screen there. United Racing Series night here on ONTrack Weekly. We're going to try and get Grand Bend Speedway's stuff up and running for a future episode of the show. But United Racing Series, lots of good stuff to talk about. Their 2023 seasons for all four of its components. Of course, you got the APC late models, Quick Super Stocks, the Just Foam It modified division, and the newly renamed, formerly the Nightworks Design, now the JRS Auction Hot Rod Series. Those four a part of the United Racing Series. Of course, you got the formerly Oscar run, but still named Oscar Hot Rods and Modifieds. We'll definitely make sure we talk with those about those divisions as well, give them their due. Quick shout out before we go any further on the show. Got a message today after receiving and posting that we got the Nick Ramsey shirt in the mail today, which was a nice surprise. Start your work week with a brand new racing t-shirt. Not too bad. And Nick Ramsey confirmed that he will be back to run the Quick Superstock Series in its entirety in 2024. Not sure of other plans just yet, but Nick's health is looking better, which is great. Great news. And I know Nick had to sit out a couple of races last year due to his health, and so getting clearance is always fantastic. And hearing that he's going to be back in the 07, just another great story here. We've had a good amount of some good stories lately with drivers like Austin Penny, Steve McCaw getting back into race cars after some health issues. So this is great to hear, and we're ready to get going here on this episode of ONTrack Weekly with the United Racing Series as we talk about their top four series. And of course, last year in the APC Series, what a phenomenal battle all season long for the championship. We got a new champion crowned last year. Lots of stuff happened across the board. I still will contest and say that Quick Superstock Series battle for the championship between Lane Zardo, Carson Nagy, and Sean Chenoweth was one of the best in the entire province and probably in all of Canada's racing last year. A phenomenal battle between those three competitors before towards the end Sean Chenoweth didn't have the luck to keep it all together there, but all signs point to another battle like that this year, and with those same three competitors, but they're going to have a lot more competitors to battle with this year. We'll take a look at who we think is going to be part of the season so far, at least who's announced plans, and at least take a look across, again, all four divisions, see who's already announced, and then, of course, we'll take a look at their schedules. We'll do that first. APC and the United Racing Series will be at Motorama this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They will have a booth there. You can check out Tyler Liscombe's number 81 modified. You can check out 97 of Blair Wickett, which will also be there. trying to remember which the other car is that's going to be there. Of course, when you do your research right before the show and then you start talking about it and you completely blank on what the third car was going to be. But again, they're going to have one at least from across all their, not every single one of their series. The Ryan Cowan will have his hot rod there. It won't be in the actual APC booth, but it will be a part of the Racers Corral. So make sure you go in. You'll check that out. The Pontiac Bonneville is going to be there. And Kenny McNichol's Sweet Pea truck. How could I forget about that? It's hot rod. Kenny McNichol's hot rod for this year. 17 Sweet Pea. Love it. So definitely what's going to be nice, they're going to have all three. They have three there, and I would imagine you're going to see a super stock there somewhere. Maybe the Racers Corral. But the likelihood is that you're going to see one super stock there at least. But definitely stop by. The team's going to have some of the 10th anniversary merchandise. It's hard to believe 10 years already of the United Racing Series, of the APC Series. You make sure you check out. You're going to see some of the guys, Alex Nagy there, Daryl Timmermans is going to probably be there, Dave Gainforth probably there, and of course the competitors, Blair Wickett will be there. He'll be part of signing autographs as well at Sunset Speedway's booth. So definitely make sure, Derek, nice to see you. So definitely make sure you go and check out Motorama this weekend. Tickets still available. $25 if you want to get in as an adult. And then $17 for 7 to, I believe it is 17 to 7 to 15 perhaps, is $17. And then kids under 12 are free. Seniors, I believe, are 10. But I'm probably wrong on that. Maybe it's 15. I think it's 15 for seniors. And kids under 12 for free. Mixed all that up right there. Trying to remember all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on this week, friends. Lots of stuff going on. Admission 25 for adults, 20 for 65 plus seniors. Youth are 7 to 15. They're $17. Children 6 and under are free, and parking is free. If you're going to the show from 10 to 8, 2 nights, then you've also got your Fast Eddie Night of Champions on the Saturday. Get there. If you want to make sure you got a spot, get there early. But mind you, you might want to stick around. There's lots of great stuff. There'll be the podcast booth. We'll be hanging out there. We got myself, True North Racing. Podcast will also be there. The Wide World of Motorsports will be around. Bracket Life will be on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. We'll all be around. Of course, you got all these amazing vendors. You got the stars of Rust Valley Restorers. They're going to be there as well. The Rust Brothers team. Mike Hall and Avery Schoaf, along with other members of their team at least, will be there. You got lots of great stuff, but lots of racing series there. Merch to buy. Stickers and scuffs will be there for all 3 days. So definitely come on by and meet some competitors. Pick up some free stuff. Go out and buy some new stuff. There's diecast there. There's products there. We got our buddy at Mighty Wipes, Pam and Dennis. They'll be there with their product. Napa Auto Parts will be there. Leaf Racewear. Fast Eddie, of course. Epic Racewear. There'll be drivers from all over the province. Booths for Sunset Speedway, Peterborough, Sauble. The series like the Ontario Sportsman Series will be there. APC will be there. The NASCAR Canada Series is back this year. They will be there. So definitely head out to Motorama this weekend. I would love to see you there. Come on by, say hi, grab a picture. Let's get ready to go racing, friends. Lots of fun stuff. for this season. But we're going to talk today about the United Racing Series, and one of the best series in all of Canada and all of the world, really, is the United Racing Series, with the content and the action that they put out on the racetrack in all 4 of their divisions, every single event. Let's get talking about the APC Series in 2024. Let's see if I can get all this this screen working out real nice and right. It was nice and big today. APC Series 2024 schedule. Sunset Speedway, May 18th. Flamborough on June 8th. And then June 15th. Probably one of my favorite shows for APC all year round. Them stopping at Peterborough Speedway. Just absolutely love these late models running at Peterborough Speedway. Delaware Speedway, always. And again, if you haven't been to Delaware Speedway for regular late models, when you go and you see the APC Series, guys, it is unbelievable. The noise, the thunder, the thrill that they bring, the speed is what really gets you, though. The speed of these APC late models going around Delaware Speedway is phenomenal. Flamborough Speedway back on July 13th. Sauble on August 3rd, August 10th at Sunset Speedway, August 24th, and then they head back to Delaware on September 7th. A little bit of a change, of course, this year with no NASCAR Canada Series for the Great Canadian Weekend. However, big races this year. You got races with more laps. These guys being the headliner, probably the way I think it should be for the United Racing Series, especially with the APC Series being without NASCAR this year. They should be putting on a bigger show. And I think with names like Noah Gragson that have participated in the last couple of seasons, Ken Schrader's been in this series. You're gonna get more. The way things are looking and cooking for 2024 APC Series. That's their start of their schedule. I'm just gonna go through their schedules here. The Hot Rod Series, officially now known as the JRS Hot Rods, in 2024. We got Flamborough Speedway on June 1st, Sauble Speedway on June 15th, then we got Delaware back-to-back on the 28th and 29th. That's definitely cannot miss. Great weekend for Canada today. Full Throttle Motor Speedway on July 13th. It's tight, but it's a lot of fun out there. They've got their own late model or their own hot rod division as well. Those guys tend to come in and be a part of that festivity as well. Peterborough Speedway, Sauble Speedway, Sunset, Delaware, back on the dirt in Brighton, Flamborough, and then they wrap it up on the October 12th to 14th for Autumn Colors. Honestly, if you're not gonna go do some Thanksgiving festivities, do yourselves a favor and go to Colors. I really wish I'd been doing that for years and years and years, because I've been there for a couple years now. Colors is the show. Absolutely love it. And these hot rods, they don't mess around. This is the last race of their championship season. So they're going to go for it. And they're going to put whatever they can into the last couple of races of the year. Unfortunately, ruined by weather this past year, but don't miss out. Make sure you catch an Oscar hot rod race at least once this year. Don't miss out on those. And I'm going to combine that with the Just Foam It modified division. Sunset, Flamborough to start the season May 18th and June 1st. Sauble on June 15th. Delaware back-to-back. They're with the hot rods. July 13th for Full Throttle. Peterborough, Sauble, Sunset, Delaware on September 7th. Flamborough for Frosttoberfest. And they also wrap up at Colors. Again, who doesn't like modified racing? It's hard to find somebody that doesn't like modified racing. I think that they could use a little bit more love. Really, I think the Just Foam It modifieds are definitely right up there with some of the best action. Can't always get a full amount of cars week in and week out, like every division out there. But when they are on, and that happens a lot, holy moly, is the action great. Somebody going to watch this year, Wally Wilson, because he was fast towards the end of last year. He had some changes on that car, and all of a sudden he started to get up towards the front of the field. Started at the front, actually. and at Delaware and led some laps. So they've got stuff working out there. Jason Keane, somebody else you're going to have to watch this year, AJMs. The biggest difference, no 35. London Recreational Racing mod this year. It's gone. That should open up things just a little bit. I would have liked to see a couple more people give it a shot to try and unseat Andy Camrath and Sean Chenoweth, but c'est la vie. The Just Foam and Modified's always a lot of fun every single year, and of course you've got the Quick Super Stock Series as well. Just realized that I don't think that they have their schedule posted up on here, so I don't think we're going to be able to... let's see if we got this. Of course, I've said before, the Quick Superstock Series schedule. Let's take a quick look here. June 15th, starting off at Peterborough Speedway. June 28th at Delaware Speedway. July 13th at Flamborough. Sunset on August 10th. And wrap it up at Delaware September 6th. I am always of the belief more racing is better. But when you say that, when you see the quality of the races that these Quick Superstocks competitors put on last year, I think it's just perfect. It's just perfect. And if we can continue to build this series as well, I mean, just go back and watch some of the amazing short track action between, like I said, the three of those drivers. They were running for the Delaware Championship, running for this championship as well. Sean Chenoweth, Lane Zardo, Carson Nagy. Zardo and Nagy battling back and forth in two different championships. Really was the story of the season. And Carson Nagy really is somebody who should be recognized even more for what he did last year. A couple people did double championships, but the competition level that Carson Nagy was able to do it with at Delaware Superstock Division and the United Racing Series Quick Superstock Series, whew, that is a tough field to beat. But he did it. He did it. And Carson Nagy is going to be battling back once again this year. Try and back it up. Mason Culver and Corey McAllister were also double champions in 24 or 23. They look to do a couple more things in 24. So the schedules were dealt with, and we had a 2023 season for the record books. Let's take a look at our old trusty document here, and we'll go through our United Racing Series standings for 2024. I keep saying that, 2023. It's hard to remember sometimes. All right. Yes, Nagy ran great last year. He definitely did. And I'm telling you guys, Carson Nagy, kids got something there. The Nagy blood runs deep. Talent as well. APC Late Model Series presented by Castrol. Kyle Steckley with the championship over Joe Lawrence. Joe in the favorite story of mine for the APC Series last year, running in the family-owned BT Racing number 78. What can you say about that story, man? They blew the engine early and weren't sure if they're going to continue, and a fellow competitor helps them out. The engine was originally from Mom. Tom Gibbons will say second mom, because he comes through and gives them an engine, a spare engine to use. And he comes back and finishes second in the championship in his home family team. Potentially back this year, Joe Lawrence in the BT 78. Definitely a lot of fun. It's tough when you see a situation with a good luck story and then it looks like things are going to go really, really bad because the engine blows up at Sauble, and you're thinking, oh no, there's no way that they're going to come back from this. Now we weren't sure if the season was going to continue, and comes back, and BT Racing put that car on the track with not a ton of money behind it, but they were able to finish second in this championship, close to the APC machine of Kyle Steckley, which is by far one of the best teams in the province, potentially best teams in Canada in 22 racing. JR Fitzpatrick, he wins the last 2 races of the season. 3 wins last year. Jake Sheridan, Josh Stoddy, always competitive. Josh Stoddy is. Shea Gemmel got himself a win again last year. Danny Benedict won the season opener. Eric Dalla Riva, now that should say Dalla Riva, not Dallas. Dalla Riva, Blair Wickett, who I think somebody you're going to have to watch this year for sure, and Tom Gibbons. Top 10, solid top 10. Junior Farley, somebody else you're going to be watching again this year. He had some runs in Junior Farley, was so close to having some great runs, and just it didn't get there. But he's so close. One of the best looking cars on the track last year. Sean Chenoweth always has a good looking car. The 89C. Corey Luciano, Tyler DiVincenzo in his return season last year finishes in 14th. Now, he had some drivers that didn't run the full season. Rick Spencer-Walt was not able to run the full season in the 31W. Chase Pinsino in 16th. James Horner out of Peterborough Speedway. Glenn Stiers made a couple. Andrew Gressel, Cole Quinton, Ray Morneau Jr., Rick Burbridge out of Flamborough. Connor Pritico out of Delaware. Drayton Lapsevich, Patrick Friel out of Delaware. Jesse Kennedy, always very good, Jesse Kennedy. Mark Burbridge out of Flamborough as well. Zach Sprung, Mike Bentley. There we go. Mike Bentley. I was going to do a couple more races. Was Mike Bentley. Dwayne Baker, Pete Vanderwist, Caden Lapsevich, Ken Schrader made a start. Noah Gregson as well. Taylor Holdaway, Darrell Lake, Marshall Schrank, Sean McGlynn, Derek Lynch. Canadian Motorsport Hall of Famer, Derek Lynch. Caden Wright out of Sauble Speedway, Matt Box, Brandon Watson, Jacob Mercer out of Peterborough Speedway, Barry Watson, Mark Jacobs, NASCAR Canada star DJ Kennington, and Ryan Kimball. 47 competitors. They're probably missing 1 or 2 on that list. Copied some names over, so we'll see. 47. Unbelievable. Just in Ontario in 9 races last year. Fantastic stuff. Race winners at Sunset Speedway, Danny Benedict. JR Fitzpatrick at Flamborough. Kyle Steckley at Peterborough. Delaware was Jake Sheridan. Flamborough was Shea Gemmel getting back into victory lane. Kyle Steckley at Sauble. Joe Lawrence at Sunset. And JR Fitzpatrick rounded out the season at Sauble and Delaware. We switch over to the Quick Wick Superstock Series, and it was Carson Nagy winning the championship over Elaine Zardo and Sean Chenoweth. Trevor Culver, always competitive year in and year out in that number 1 inventory express machine. Gord Shepard in 5th. Gord the Smoke Shepherd winning the championship in the Sunset Speedway Pro Late division this year. Comes up in 5th place in that number 30. My boy Nick Ramsey coming home in 6th, and my other boy Ryan Dyson in 7th. Colton Everingham in the 48X in 8th. Garrett Temersma, who had a season from hell last year, in 9th. Roy Wilkie in 10th. Brandon McFerrin finishes the season in 11th place. Rick Verburn, who officially has retired from racing, finishes 12th in his final season. Dwayne Baker, Marley Owen out of Peterborough Speedway, Ryden Lapsevich, Miles Tyson, Brad Collison, Chase Pinsino, who didn't run the full season in the Superstocks, Pete Vanderwist, Connor Maltese out of Sunset, Paul Pepper, who will be running out of Sunset this year, Anthony DeBello, Nick Troback out of Flamborough, Ryan Bright out of Delaware, Connor Van Steensel out of Delaware, Johnny Morrison out of Sunset, Matt McGrath out of Sunset, Caden Lapsovich, yes, that's right, NASCAR Canada champion and current crew chief in the ARCA Menard Series. Caden Lapsovich made a start last year, and Cole Burrows out of Sunset. I think we can expect to see Cole running as well back in the Super Stock Series this season. He'll be running out at Sunset in 24. Race winners last year, it was a really nice competitive season. Carson Nagy, as you look at this, not one repeat winner in the 5 races that they did last year. Carson Nagy, Trevor Culver, Brandon McFerrin, a great battle this year for some wins. Unfortunately, Sunset went a little bit sideways for him with contact in Carson Nagy, but Brandon McFerrin getting the win at Flamborough in a pretty dominant fashion. Lane Zardo, and then Hudson Nagy technically won at Delaware, but it was for points for the 48X of Colton Everingham. So Colton gets that credited win, but Hudson was the one that pulled into victory lane. Solid season for the Quick Superstocks once again. I am excited to see what we're going to get this year. We'll talk about who are some names that we're looking at so far. Because we got to get through this. It's already almost 7:30 here, and we got 2 more divisions that we got to go through. And we got to take a look at what we're looking at for 2024. So we continue on with the Just Foam It Oscar Modifieds. Now, unfortunately, their season ended a little prematurely. The weather played a big factor at Autumn Colors. They weren't able to get the feature going in time. I don't believe they ended up running the final race due to that weather. So Jason Keene takes the checkered flag on the season as champion, and is lucky for him that that's how it happened, because if I'm not mistaken, the car blew up prior to the race. TJ Edwards comes back and finishes second in the point standings. Dale Reinhardt in third. A great run for Brian Batty in the 39. Ryan Dick in the 88D. David Mathers in the 48. Norman Newman. Wally Wilson. AJ Ems and Alvin McNichol last season in the Just Foam It Modified Division. Tyler Liscombe, he'll be back in 2024. Chris Milwain, Paul Townsend, Steve Trindall, and Brad Pearsall were your top 15. Jamie Cox in that number 3. Kent Rowbottom, Sean Chenoweth, Tommy Robb, Chad Strawn, Jake Watson, Jeff Schowler. They got Rick Spencer Walt, TJ Marshall, Andy Camrath, Brandon Feeney, who also made a start at Autumn Colors, Brent McLean, Carson Nagy, Cole Quinton, Gary McLean, Hudson Nagy, Mike Hardy, Brian Wilson, Rick Warness, and Tyler Bullion. Warness and Bullion making starts from the Ontario Modifieds, being a part of that the division race for the Just Foam It Oscar Modifieds at the Autumn Colors. It was a very adventurous winners list in 2023, with Andy Camrath getting the victory at Flamborough Speedway to start the season. TJ Edwards winning back-to-back at Sauble and Delaware. Jamie Cox winning at Delaware number 2. Then it was AJ Ems for 3 straight wins at Full Throttle, Peterborough, and Sauble. Sean Chenoweth at Delaware, and he gets 2 of the last 3. Dale Reinhardt wins Flamborough after, I'm pretty sure, a disqualification on the 35. Would have been 3 straight for Sean Chenoweth if not for that. Peterborough, it was Chenoweth that takes the checkered flag on the season in the modified division. Now, last year it was the Nightworks Design Hot Rods. This year it will be the JRS Auctions Hot Rod Series. And we've got Tyler Hahn back as champion in the Hot Rod Series. One of the best guys out there. We've been lucky enough to interview Tyler, and solid guy, and lots of fun to talk to. Steve Book coming up in second place. Rob Bromley, Ryan Cowan in the Pontiac Bonneville, Nick Clark, and Jeremy McLean, your top 6. Connor Ellis comes home in 7th. Bill Clark in 8th. Kyle Woods and Cole Weber in 10th, or Cole Weber in 10th. Dave Evison, Jeremy Taggart, Matt Hopkins, Matt Spry, Dalen Martin, Ed Peterson, Jordan Morris, Rick Spencer-Walt, Trevor Thompson, Brian Wilson, David Rockwood. Then you get some of the guys that ran only a couple of races. Jamie Adams, Rob Starr, Travis Farrow, Dave McMahon, Doug Fisher, Jerry Broom, John Laval, Luke Janak, Nick Holman, Rob Wark, Sean Walker, Steve Ecker, Steve McCaw, Thomas Wunsch, AJ Ems, Art Rogers, Brandon Feeney, Corey McAllister, Dan Price, Dan Rothwell, Daryl Lake, Donnie Beatty, Doug Wilson, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Jamie Cairns, Jason Ritchie, Joe Lawrence, Mark Lamont, Nathan Detweiler, Paul Bogensberger Jr., and Trevor Critchley. 52 different names competing last season in the Hot Rod Series. Probably, again, one of the most beautiful racing series that we are pleasantly surprised with each and every year. There's always something that people are really, really interested in. I didn't see a Kenny McNichol on this list, even though he initially was there at Autumn Colors. He just wasn't able to get to race Sweet Pea, unfortunately, after the cancellation, or at least postponement, of the races. Race winners for the Hot Rods in 2023. A lot of the same, actually. This was a pretty dominant season, but Cole Weber on the first race of the season at Flamborough. Then it was Dalen Martin winning back-to-back at Sauble in Delaware. Technically, again, I believe it was a double-double for him. He would have won 3 in a row, but I believe the disqualification at Delaware led to Tyler Hahn getting that win. Cole Weber again at Full Throttle. And then 3 straight for Tyler Hahn at Brighton, Sauble, and Delaware before we got to Flamborough Speedway's Rick Spencer-Walt getting into victory lane. Whatever you give Rick Spencer-Walt, man, he wins in. And Tyler Hahn wins at Colors. A fantastic season for all of these divisions in the United Racing Series in 2023. The remarkable thing is that there really isn't any sort of lull. I mean, that's what's so great about this series. All of them is year to year. While there's change, there's definitely still a ton of action, a ton of great stuff to tune into each and every year. Now, where are we in terms of changes? Well, year to year, we know drivers are in, drivers are out, drivers are moving places. What I'm going to show you is what I've compiled so far. This in no means is the final list. This in no means is what we're going to see come the beginning of the season. This list is compiled from people that have already confirmed to me what they're going to do, or they've already made some sort of an announcement. And there are going to be names that I believe are off this list, but we've already gotten confirmations. I just haven't updated the list right up to this time. So let's go through. We'll take a look and see the names that we know are coming back or debuting for 2024. At least have had the idea that that's what they want to do. And the biggest one that is not on this list that I haven't updated yet was announced yesterday. And it was our intro driver, Ray Morneau Jr. Big stuff. Coming in, Casey Cash Racing. He's going to drive the number 30 for the full APC series in 2024. And I absolutely love this move. Ray Morneau is one of those drivers that has really deserved an opportunity like this. The talent level, the maturity level that he puts out on the, not just the racetrack, but his interviews, very well suited to be on the grid and to get an opportunity like this. There's somebody that Ray is very well become at Delaware, and that is the fan favorite. I mean, when you go to these events, it's funny, when he was in the NASCAR Pinty Series race a couple years ago, he got the biggest crowds, the biggest cheers of any of the drivers. DJ was kind of close, but honestly, the Windsor crowd, they come in droves for Ray Morneau Jr. And with him being full-time on the circuit this year, I don't see how there's nothing that I think about that other than it's a friggin' fantastic thing. You know, obviously people are going to be upset because their fan favorite isn't back, or this fan favorite might not be back, or this person's doing this or this person's doing that. Change is inevitable, but it can also be scary. Absolutely. But for this series having, first off, I believe this is a new team of sorts, a new operation with Casey Cash Racing. Leuna coming on and being a full supporter of this car, full primary, is again huge as well. And this is the opportunity that we want to see names come into the series and be successful. Obviously, Brandon Watson's come from this series, Trayton Lapsevich, Kyle Steckley, and they've all done amazing things. This is Ray Morneau getting that opportunity as well. And sure, yeah, he was in the series a couple of years ago, but this is the time, right? Taking the opportunity to get in here. We've already known that there's some departures. J.R. Fitzpatrick, at least on a full-time basis. Danny Benedict, at least on a full-time basis. But that's, as far as I know, it. So, whatever we know right now is all of a sudden much better because Ray Morneau is going to be a part of things. That fan base is big and it's rabid. And all of a sudden, with big stars leaving, it gives other drivers the opportunity to be that. They can come in and be the new J.R. Fitzpatrick if they so choose. You know, J.R. will still be around. He's not going that far. He's still racing. And you know, as fans, we're quick to say, "Oh, I'm not for watching it. This driver's not going to be here. I'm not going to watch." You're missing out. The amount of names that are still returning, that could be coming, and we were just scratching the surface too. This weekend is just the start of a lot of announcements. That's the big thing. I mean, we really don't know how many more names we've got to confirm, especially when it comes to these divisions. A lot of drivers are very, very sneaky, very quiet about what their plans are going to be. They might not make big announcements. They might just show up. You know, obviously, with the announcements of Tyler Liscombe being there, with the 17 of Kenny McNichol being there, and then, of course, with Blair Wickett, I think those three would be safe in confirming that they're going to participate in those divisions this year. No modified, though. So hopefully there's going to be one on display. I'd like to see... I think all Wally's car out there would be nice. David Mathers, maybe. But let's take a look at who we've compiled so far. And like I said, this is just the start. We're so far yet so close to racing season beginning. And there's still so much that can be announced. And the exciting thing is knowing that these names are going to be on Racing America this year. Thanks to the broadcast team at G-Force TV, who are working in conjunction with Racing America and the team at the United Racing Series. They're giving these guys a huge audience. So now all these names here that could be part of, if they're part of the APC weekends, you know, that's big. Absolutely big. So let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick look at who we've compiled so far. Ray Morneau Jr., of course, we have to mention. He's to be added. And there's a couple other names I'm sure that aren't on here just yet that should be added. So in the APC late models, Sean McGlynn, Typically runs a couple of races each year. Sean McGlynn and then the car number 1. Be back once again. Danny Benedict has confirmed at least for the 2 Sunset races returning. I would think Danny's going to do at least maybe one more. Maybe a Delaware. That sounds like something that he would do. Danny Benedict in the 54. Junior Farley back for the full season. Joe Lawrence. Not sure what Joe's schedule is, but I believe I thought it said that he was going to do full-time. He's with the Elite Racing Team. They're running down south in the ASA series, which is huge. He's getting the opportunity to do that. Also a name that's not been added to this list, but has already confirmed. Kyle Steckley is back to defend his APC Series championship, and he's in tough competition this year for sure. Sean Chenoweth as well back. Tyler DiVincenzo and Blair Wickett. Again, that's all I'm going to divulge right now. Others will make their announcements. I believe Josh Stoddy has already announced as well that he was going to be back in the 17. So a pretty stacked field already. We're just getting started. Quick Superstock Series. Daniel Hahn making the switch over to the Superstocks and running in the United Racing Series for the Quick Superstock Series in 2024. If the funding allows, we'll see Colton Everingham in the 48. A partial season again for Miles Tyson. He did that last year in the Quick Superstock. Sean Chenoweth and Carson Nagy is back to defeat all comers and go back-to-back. If he can do what he did this year again and win 4 championships in 2 years, I'd say that wakes some people up for sure. Carson Nagy, I'm going to try and do some big stuff. I would expect his brother Hudson will be battling as well. Lane Zardo hasn't confirmed anything just yet, but if he's back, I'm sure he'd be gunning for the Quick Superstock Championship as well. Got a little more confirmation so far in the JRS Hot Rods division. We take a switch over there to the JRS Hot Rods. Cole Ecker out of Sauble Speedway said they're planning on making a start. Zach Sprung as well out of Sauble as well. Ryan Cowan, the Pontiac Bonneville is back, baby, as is Dave Evison in the 15. Matt Spry, weekly out of Sunset Speedway, returns, and another Sauble, Dave McMahon. We know that Steve Arond is back. He'll be running in conjunction with Steve McCaw. Now, I haven't put Steve McCaw on this list because he is going to go through a number change. As you see, the number 4 already kind of taken here by Zach Sprung. So Steve's looking at a new number for this year. Not sure what he's going to go with. Matt Hopkins, champion out at Full Throttle Motor Speedway, has confirmed he will be back, but for a partial season. Connor Ellis also is back, and they're going to have a brand new ride, I believe, this year. I think that last one made its last and final trip at Delaware. Nick Clark will also be back in a partial season. We've already confirmed him. He's going to be part of the Ontario Late Model Association up at Full Throttle this season. The Just Foment Modified Division, Steve Trundle back in a partial season. David Mathers, Wally Wilson, Ryan Dick in the 89D or the 88D for a partial season as well. Going to add TJ Edwards to the Just Foment Modifieds for 2024. Lots more in terms of names and faces to come for 2024. This is, again, just who's notified and messaged me as confirming that they are going to attempt some of these races this year or compete full time. Again, we wouldn't post this stuff unless people have said, yes, that's what we're doing, or that's what we intend to do. But your best bet is to pay attention to the United Racing Series website and, of course, their Facebook page. Very up-to-date on social media all the time, posting stuff about the schedule, posting stuff about the names, faces coming in week and week out. Of course, make sure you go out there and support the United Racing Series in 2024. There's going to be some change, obviously, and that's happening in every division across Ontario. It's happening across every series, and I'm excited for this season. I'm telling you why, because there's a couple of names that I look at. Obviously, Ray Morneau Jr. coming in, as I've already mentioned, is one. I think Ray coming in is huge. But all of a sudden now, if you add in Blair Wickett, who, Blair, I feel he's there. He's just, we haven't hit that final stage of the event. And in terms of momentum, I think he's definitely got some heading into this year. I'd love to see a bit more from Tyler DiVincenzo. He's somebody else who I think last year had some better runs, and as long as they can do it, then we're solid. It's perfect. It's perfect to see this. I think having those fresh faces compete with the veterans. You got to remember, Kyle Steckley is going to come in as this defending champion. He is by no means a lock. Any one of those guys can win. Junior Farley almost had a win last year. He's had, and those shot cars have been fast. He and Eric De La Riva have been very fast. And as far as I'm aware, there isn't a name to be confirmed. I believe they're announcing at least the next week or so. That could play a big change in the way that the APC season goes. And I think, again, I've already said before, but that Quick Superstock Series battle for that championship very much will play a big role. Superstocks are they're like the unsung hero. As much as I love the APC late model series, which I do, I will go out and say it every day of the week. But those that Superstock division, man, you get those races that we had. Like last year, there was that Sunset race where it didn't end great for Brandon McFerrin and Carson Nagy, but they were putting on a hell of a show at Sunset. And I think if you add in a couple more names and we get that series bumping again, just like it was this past year, there's no telling what. Like, listen, let's be honest. Trevor Culver is somebody that you have to compete with each week. Ryan Dyson, somebody you have to compete with each week. I'm not sure if Dyson's going to do the Quick Superstocks this year. Colton Everingham. Secret about Colton Everingham is that car that he's got now is his old baby. His old championship car. So now he's back behind Old Familiar. And yes, Wade, if they're part of the APC night, they are going on Racing America as well. So anything that is a part of the night. So as far as I remember, APC events this year, you've got Quick Superstocks that will be combined with them. You've got a couple of bone stock races at the weekly tracks. You've got Can-Am midgets that are also going to be a part of festivities. And then, of course, the United Racing Series very own Oscar Hot Rods and Oscar Modifieds at Delaware that are also going to be part of festivities. But again, if you have any questions, feel free. You reach out to the United Racing Series. Go to their website. They have an amazing website, first off, full of historical facts, pictures. The rosters aren't up yet. They'll be posted. They're probably going to do a countdown and post kind of weekly. They'll add to the roster, which is what they do every year. That's how I find out who's joining the rosters. Is they'll start adding that week in and week out. They'll add a picture, a bio. They've got all the historical data dating back to the original seasons. So do yourselves a favor, honestly. Head to the APC Racing Series.com. APCRacingSeries.com. You will get your details there. There is also a code for your Racing America stream. Okay, it's a discount code. So you want to save yourself a little bit of that money. Yeah. You head to apcracingseries.com. It's right on one of the windows that's sliding back and forth. It's got your stream code. Save yourself a little bit of that money. Racing America coming on, putting these guys on a big show in the United States is big. You're gonna have, the offer ended on March 1st, so you're too late now. But Racing America puts it together for it. What else am I gonna spend? Yeah, exactly. What else are you gonna spend your money on, Wade? That's right. I don't know, but I definitely been doing that too. From everybody that's told me, yeah, you want to shell out, get yourself some. And the one thing that people have to remember, you're not just getting the APC series, like that's the huge bonus, but you're getting all sorts of other content as well. That's well worth the investment. And this is the kind of the way that everything is going, is through streaming. So let's not get all upset about what we're spending money on, because at the end of the day, you would have had to spend money for cable. Or you would have money. Yeah, sure, it was free on YouTube, but you can't do things for free forever. That's not realistic. So, but we're going to go out there. We're going to have a lot of fun watching all four of these divisions this year. I'm telling you, like I said, Wally Wilson's somebody to watch in the modified division. He definitely is. They made some changes last year. And then you've got Ray Morrow Jr. in the late models. I'm going to say Colton Everingham would be somebody to watch in the super stocks as well. And then when it comes to the hot rods, I'm going to go out and say Connor Ellis, because Connor Ellis is somebody else who hasn't had that opportunity. He's been good for sure, but they've had some problems with that car, and now that car is kind of met its end. So they've got a new car put together this year for him, and the kid definitely shows a lot of poise and a lot of talent. And that's somebody that I believe when we were interviewing Tyler Hahn, he was talking about that kid as being somebody to watch. So definitely look out for Connor Ellis this season in the Hot Rod Series. And make sure you guys go out there, support. Go to the racetracks, especially if you love your old school racing, you check out the Hot Rods. They're well worth any ticket. We said as well, the speed of the APC series, and then the pizzazz of the super stocks, and then you got the bumping and banging of the modifieds. Every division gives you something to look forward to each and every event. Obviously, Sunset is the track that I look forward to, being a home track for me, but Delaware is definitely a big show. When they start putting on these big races, 200, 300 laps, yeah, things are serious now in this division. They're going to continue to grow week in and week out. But I have been your host here on ONTrack Weekly with Cam K here on GeForce TV. Every week, we are covering racing all across Ontario. This week, we obviously covered the United Racing Series. We have covered every track so far, but we haven't gotten to Grand Bend. So that is the next racetrack on our journey across Ontario tracks. And then we'll continue on. We'll look at some of the other racing divisions, including we've already done the Ontario Sportsman Series, but we'll take a look at the NASCAR Canada Series. We will also take a look at the Can-Am Midgets and the Outlaw Midgets. That's likely going to be a shared episode. And then we're going to take a look at very much a build-up to the racing season, which is our collective rosters. Every track, every division, we're going to take a look and see where we're at for the racing season in 2024. There's going to be a lot of news coming out of Motorama, so we might be doing a little bit of a cleanup on that on Monday. But if you haven't already, get your tickets from Motorama. Get out there, get them bought, head to the show. It is a racing fan's dream in the racing zone. And if you like cars in general, head to this place. There is tons of free stuff. There's great celebrities there. It's a great time. Get yourself in early. See the entire show. You've got entertainment for days. Come on by. Swing by the podcast room, the Boneyard Media Room. That's where yours truly will be hanging out. We'll be there with the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Be there with the True North Racing podcast, the Wide World of Motorsports, Bracket Life, Southern Ontario Dirt Show. We'll all be there as well, switching on the stage as well in the racing zone. Thanks to eBay Motors and Gulf Race Fuels for putting on the racing zone in 2024 at Motorama. But we are almost done. We are wrapping up this episode. Thanks to the United Racing Series for all they do. Every official, every competitor. Thanks from us fans. APC, Luke Ramsey. Thankful for all you do, Frank. And Dave at Quick. Obviously, Joel Robichaux at JRS. I don't know the folks behind Just Foam It, but thank you for supporting. We will catch you all next week here on G-Force TV. If I've got a voice left after those 3 days, we'll definitely be back. But give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Like, share. We'll come back next week and we'll talk some more. This has been OnTrack Weekly with Cam K. We'll catch you all next week.